Testing. Hey guys, Cashfall back here on the channel for my first live stream in a little while. Um, so what we're going to be discussing about today is what my experience was going back for my second time ever in my entire life to ExpoCon back in San Francisco at Moscone Center. So where you where obviously it's the Comic Con of the year. So before we get into starting that, though, there's one little thing that I had forgot to get, which is in the other room. So for right now, I'm just going to turn off the cam and the mic, and I'll see you guys again in a bit. All right, guys, I'm back. Finally, I got it. So now I can read the chat. Um, all right, so it looks like, hey, Scottiplier, I know you're here watching this. Hey, bud, good to see you on here. So, um, as you guys probably have read in the description of this video, if you guys saw the preview before, um, what we're going to be doing as a part of this live is I'm going to be sharing with you guys my screen so that you can see a little bit of a slideshow of the pictures I was able to take at the con. Though unfortunately, there were not as many as I did last year because there probably wasn't as much, um, excitement on this year round, probably because there wasn't as many people, maybe not as many popular vendors. Um, but this year was very fun. It was, in a way, like a good, comfortable crowd, I would say, as my first thoughts. Um, Scott and I had a really good time. We were not very disappointed. We were not really disappointed at all. We were still very thrilled. Definitely enough to say we'll go back again next year. But anyway, we met some new stars this year that were, of course, not there last year because, they rotate around. But there wasn't a very big popular star that was there this year that would like take up an entire floor just dedicated to them. That would like flood in so many people waiting to see. I mean, not like last year where they had Hayden Christensen from Star Wars as Anakin Skywalker. I mean, he was very popular. But this year had some like had a little variety of the Star Wars franchise of actors in there. I guess we can start off in that category. So, as far as Star Wars actors, we were able to see, you know, I did see in a picture that I had saved, thanks to Scottiplier, who was able to send me a picture of all the actors lists of names that we saw. So I don't know if I exactly imported that, which was kind of stupid. But it is on my phone. I still have it. So, beg your pardon, you guys, again. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I'm back. So, out of all the pictures that I'm gonna be showing you sometime in the live stream tonight, I want to read to you guys all the 10 different celebs that we were able to talk with at their own booths. Not necessarily, um, we didn't have to pay like extra packages for like getting photos or autographs or any of that just to say hi to them. I mean, most of them you could just most of the time go up and just say hi and have a little chat, shake hands, without needing to do a photo or autograph. Can do it for free as long as they don't have a line because people who wait in lines to see them obviously have paid something. So when they're not busy, you can do that. We were able to successfully do that with 10 celebs, and those are in the order of Robert Patrick. He was there, known for his great role of the T-1000 Terminator from Terminator 2 Judgment Day. We got Scott got his autograph and a hello greet from him, and I just got a free hello greet. I didn't pay anything for Robert, but he was a very great guy. I mean, he kind of does give the vibe of kind of like a father-like figure, if you will. He was amazing. Um, Scott says if they weren't busy or had a line, yeah, if a celeb's booth is not very busy or like doesn't have a line or nobody is waiting behind you when you step in it, the paid people can go through first, and then when you're stepping up and there's no one behind you, you can most likely say hello to them for free. So, yeah. So anyway, we saw Robert Patrick first and last before we left. But anyways, after we saw our first one being Robert, we went over to the Star Wars area where they had Ashley Eckstein, the voice of Ahsoka Tano from the Clone Wars and Rebel series. She was absolutely amazing. That's the one that I paid for a photograph selfies package, which I am going to show you right now. So let's see. Um, I don't need to share the sound because we're not playing any videos or audios. But okay, here we are. So why don't we just get on to the slideshow right here? So right here, obviously, is us, our very first picture of the day when we're waiting in line just to get in before the 10 o'clock opening. This here is me and Scott. I once again dressed as Anakin Skywalker because it's pretty much my very best kind of full wardrobe cosplay of a costume that I can like pull off that I have that I own. Including his Youngling Slayer 9000 hilt clipped onto the belt. And I would say that this hairstyle of this wig I got looks a lot better to portray Anakin of Revenge of the Sith, better than the wig that I had last year. Last year, I think, kind of referenced more to maybe Cal Kestis from Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor games. Um, so you know something? I'll see if I can do a little comparison here. So, all right, guys, take this look and compare it to um, this photo right here. I mean, yeah, come on. This wig was just too, ah, didn't really look much like Anakin, but I would have to say that was the most exciting time of the con that I've ever experienced, just because that happened last year of being my very first time. That's when I met and got my photo with Hayden Christensen. But that's pretty much a story for another time. And I think I did a live stream last year discussing my last year's experience at Comic-Con at that Expo Con. So if you guys want a little more elaboration on what happened last year, it's still archived in my lives playlist. You can also go back and view it again. Not going to get off topic from this year. Um, so anyway, so yeah, this is us waiting. Scott had just a normal kind of everyday outfit, but he bought his nice Pokemon trainer hat, and the colors he wore kind of were like the colors of a Pokemon trainer from that animation world. And he bought his own Pokemon celebration bag, which he bought his poster special made material to have like a pen or marker on it so he can get his autograph and signature on it from Robert Patrick. So he was successful with that. Um, and now if we head over to, um, I don't know why it wasn't going forward for me. Um, there we are. Oh, that was one whole photo. Oh, all right. Well, here is inside of the main floor of the stars level. As you can see, it was not very busy, at least most of that day. We were able to complete and go through everything we wanted to in pretty much just 3.5 to 4 hours. So we pretty much got done earlier in the day, um, that day, which was actually just last Sunday. So just almost about a week ago. So we were very successful. We wanted to get through all the stars that we did. So back to the stars. On this level, we were able to meet, once again, going down on the list, Robert Patrick, Ashley Eckstein, Brandon Ruth, who was Superman from the 2006 Superman Returns film, um, Matt Lanter, we said hi to him, um, Nika Futterman, who was the voice of Asajj Ventress, the Sith apprentice from Star Wars: The Clone Wars. So this is kind of back into the Star Wars area where she was at. And she was pretty cool. I mean, the way that she wanted to portray herself as her appearance to look at her booth. I mean, she had a cool looking kind of hat that was kind of like a fedora, kind of like a top hat, and she had kind of like orange looking, kind of like geeky glasses. I mean, it almost kind of reminded me of like a steampunk style, if you will. Um, but yeah, we were able to get a couple of them, like Nika and Ashley. They were able to do some of their short voice impressions of their popular characters they did. So we were lucky to hear some of that, which was very cool because I'm like, oh my gosh. And I was thinking, it is you. But anyway, um, we saw Ray Park. He was there, Darth Maul, and Snake Eyes. He was known for obviously his Darth Maul role. He had most of those pictures laid out at his booth for his popular, most known role. We had a nice, good talk with him. I mean, we were able to ask some of these celebrities a couple of questions, like how their experience was when they were doing the movies, or how it was working with their cast of stars on the film projects. Most of them say it was a great experience and they had like pretty much no flaws working with each other. So that's always very nice to hear. And then who else? Okay, so yeah, Ray Park, Mark Pellegrino, he was there. And there's Kellen Lutz, Kellen Lutz, Fasinelli, and Annabeth Gish. So they were there. Um, See, some of these celebs are actually from some things on TV that maybe I have never even seen before, but maybe on every one of them, I've at least seen either the pilot episode only, or maybe one episode that was playing random that I found playing on TV. Like one of them was from Supernatural, which lasted for a very long time, and I think it might still be going. Scottiplier, if it is, do you think you could probably answer that? Um, but yeah, Scott says, yeah, Nico was very nice. Loved meeting Ray Park. Awesome to meet so many Star Wars actors. We were able to see and wave at, but we didn't have a chance to speak with him. Probably because, he kept on having like, paid fans go up to his line, so I don't think we were able to go up and have a free hi. Um, but um, the actor who voiced Obi-Wan Kenobi in the Clone Wars series was there too, next to the one who voiced Asajj and Ahsoka Tano and Anakin Skywalker. We were able to meet pretty much all of them. Uh-oh. Oh, that's weird. My camera kind of stopped working for a moment. Hmm. I don't know why. My camera's having some faulty issues. Um, if it crashes again, I'll just use my built-in camera one. Okay, forget it. Um, Bear with me, guys. I was having some technical difficulties with my camera. Let me go back to my regular camera. Okay, we'll just use my regular camera. Uh, so anyway, um, bear with me, guys. I was having. Oh, okay, it looks like camera's back on. I want to see if it comes up on the feedback. Um, yeah, so Okay, so Scott says he knows where pretty much all these actors were pretty much from. So he says um, Kellen Lutz and Peter Fasinelli from are from the Twilight saga. So I kind of knew that, but I forgot to mention it. Supernatural ended its 15th season a few years ago. So yeah, one of the top long running series of all time. And then the actress Linda Blair was there too. Um, but she wanted donations for her favorite dog charity in order for you to just go up and say hi to her. They make you kind of like scan a QR and donate online to that charity, um, as well as like a pre-stage thing before actually just walking up to say hi because she probably wants to hear that you donated. I mean, I was like, okay. But I was not going to do that because, I already spent so much money for it anyway. I was not going to put in any more. But anyway, um, that's that. No other celebs have done that there, at least not what we've seen. But anyways, so we were able to just see her that she was there. So just even seeing them, like, face to face, even from a distance, even that alone is just great enough for me. Even if you don't get to say hi to them. We were able to also see face to face, but not say hi to, but because of their lines and everything, was uh, was Christopher Lloyd. We saw him at his booth from, Doc Brown, Back to the Future. He was there along with the actress who also was who played Jennifer in the Back to the Future trilogy. Um, can't remember exactly what her name was. I think her name was Madison something. But anyway, she was there too, next to his booth. Uh, hasn't really changed a bit. She's still got the same 80s style hair. Um, yeah, keeping it nostalgia. That's just amazing. I like how some of these celebs were able to even have some iconic looks or wear something just to kind of resemble the popular roles that they did. Not so much by clothing, not costumes, but maybe like a pin or lanyard or something of their theme. So, um, oh, it wasn't Madison, excuse me. The actor who did Jennifer in Back to the Future, that was Claudia Wells. She was there next to Christopher. Thanks, Scott. So anyway, how about back to the slideshow now? So now this is pretty much an overview right here of the big like TV live action stars area. So you just have the information desk right here. I don't know if you can see my mouse, but um there were a couple of them right there in that gapped corner, and then all the rest down this area. So as you can see, not a busy day. It was very nice. A lot of room to walk around without getting squished, like going through people back to back. It didn't feel like Disneyland at all. Um, which is why I probably kind of liked it this year better than last year. I mean, crowd wise. I mean, I'm not really so much of a crowd person, unless maybe if it's something that's very, very worth it. Like, I would not mind large crowds at an event like this, but if I had to choose, I would choose a crowd rate like this. Um, of course, of course, whenever in my life that I'm at Disneyland, well, that's another story. That you can't really help the crowd rates there. You just got to deal with it. But anyway, so there was that. And here is my package that I had bought. Um, that was worth around a little over $100, but it was very worth it. It was for selfie photos that I just got with my own phone. Um, a good friend of ours, well, maybe I wouldn't say friend of ours, but a complete stranger, a fan that we met there who was also in an Anakin cosplay like me. He had his Youngling Slayer 9000 lightsaber out with the stunt blade in it, which is what you see activated here. He let me borrow his lightsaber for the prop as a prop for the picture, which was very, very cool. He was a nice guy. Wish that I probably followed him on a social media or something. But anyways, Scott here says Annabeth Gish was on the X-Files with Robert Patrick. That would make sense that they were in the same section. Robert Patrick introduced her to us, comparing our long-lasting friendship with their friendship. Oh, how can I forget that? That's right. So Robert Patrick and Annabeth Gish, they had like a long-lasting um friendship like me and Scott do. I mean Scott and I, we consider ourselves, like brothers, and I'm pretty sure they might think of themselves the same way. Maybe like a long-lasting kind of like a similar brother and sister kind of relationship. But anyway, yeah, that's really amazing. So this is one of the pictures I've got with Ashley. She took the photos, by the way, and she says herself that she's very great at taking selfies, and she took a whole lot of them. So we're talking like over 20 or 30 photos. I mean, in different poses, obviously. But these were the best ones I selected that turned out the best. So we have this one of me holding the lightsaber, um, me just relaxing and holding it down. Here's another one. And then there's just a friendly one with a smile. I mean, I like doing a combination of like smiling photos and the ones that look serious, more kind of like into their character, if you will. Um, but this is definitely my icing on the cake for the whole day. Scott's icing on the cake was probably a bit different. Um, but I believe, Scott, if you can put in there in the comments, if you do have your own video that you did of your expo experience, think you might have, but can you just confirm it so that I can confirm to my audience to check yours out too? Thanks. Anyway, okay, so Scott here says, also don't forget Peter Fasinelli complimented my wig and asked it if it was my real hair. Yeah, that's how great that, I mean, this wig of mine is. I mean, it looked pretty realistic because, it's amazing on how of the material that they can make wigs now these days. I mean, they look so realistic to real hair. I mean, you almost couldn't tell. I mean, especially if you put it on and properly adjust it right. Um, yeah, it's up on my channel. Okay, cool. So everyone, if you want to hear what Scottiplier had to say about this event we went to, head over to his channel, Scottiplier PopcultFan, which will be either in the either a link in the description below or in some of my other videos. You will see in those descriptions, the link to his channel. And you guys might probably already know him. He's got a lot of subscribers, and he's almost got like 1,000 right now. I'm really proud of him. Obviously, he's putting more effort into this than I am because I don't think I'm really gonna go much into a long time career for YouTube. I mean, this is just social and fun for me. So anyway, back to about this photo. This was us all using the Force, and that's pretty cool. She was able to sneak my friend Scott in there. So it was cool how she was able to do that. Um, and then here's just another one at another angle. And I think that's all the photos I have of Ashley. So all of those were the different types, and then many other duplicates per one. So we were at her station for probably like, a very good 5 or 10 minutes. I mean, it was worth it for me. Um, you're welcome, Scott. Anyways, so enough about Ashley. So on to the rest of our day. I ran into a cosplayer of Darth Vader, so here he is. Um, I was able to follow him, and he was able to accept my follow on his Instagram. And I have seen some of his stuff that he's done at this con and at other Comic Cons that he says he's been at. I think he's been at MegaCon, probably down in LA or something like that. But he did tell me that he was going to be able to post these videos, these photos of us on his account, but I haven't even seen him. So either the guy probably forgot or maybe he just didn't want to use them. So so this was pretty cool. I was able to, as cosplay of Anakin, see my future prophecy, if you will. That's what I always call it. Now I took this photo just for really a reference and and just as my favorite booth of the day right there because this here is BYO lightsabers.com is what they represent from their website. And what these guys do is they help their clients when they're online and on their website. They're pretty much a build your own custom lightsaber kind of thing. So they had, of course, at their booth, all these laid out in three different level tiers of lightsabers. One's of actual character replicas from the movies and shows, and then the next level down being ones that are like unique, like maybe even from character that are supposed to represent kind of like themes of characters crossing other dimensions, not just Star Wars, but maybe there was a one that they had a gold hilt with a crescent moon on it that was supposed to be a kind of what would this kind of lightsaber be like if Sailor Moon herself had it from the Sailor Moon animated series. Um, and then they had the heavy duty combat ready, very basic, simple hilts. Um, all starting for the very least price of 120 for a hilt. I mean, I'm talking for a simple one that you can clash and everything. And then of course the tiers they work up and you can be like, oh, like up to 500, maybe even more for even just Luke's knight hilt. I mean, that's crazy. But of course, I didn't buy a lightsaber here. I didn't buy anything here. I was self-disciplined. I was able to keep my money in check. Um, and then, oh, Scott also says, which was so nice of her. Yeah, it was nice of her to sneak in him for the photos. She was definitely very sweet. Definitely the icing on the cake for me getting selfies with you and Ashley. Loved it. Oh, well, see, Scott loved that. So, um, uh, so yeah, he wasn't really disappointed of anything, really, and I don't think that I was of the day either. So, um, moving on here. So anyway, why I saved this photo of BYO Build Your Own Lightsaber is because I sometime want to go check out their website just to kind of get a little bit of a quotation, if you will, on like their least to most expensive price ranges so that I can have an idea that maybe if I wanted to build my own lightsaber again, um, to possibly buy one again in the future, which is probably not near because I don't really need one at this time. But even if I ever did, I hope that these guys online will be around still, with an active site that I can probably use and possibly purchase from them as a client. So anyway, I'm glad that I've got that photo. So I think I have two more here. Obviously, not as much as last year. So here was another set in the cosplay area where they had two different kind of Sith characters from the galaxy. I think one of them at least is supposed to be from Star Wars Rebels. Uh, well, here, maybe I can zoom in, or maybe zoom out. Yeah, maybe that'll show a little bigger on your guys' screen. On the screen, it looked a little bit small, in my opinion. Scott selling fodder. Yeah, exactly. But anyway, I think their cosplays and their sabers here were actually pretty well done. Although maybe this character's lightsaber looked like its battery was either running out or it just got the baselit or it got probably the baselit packaged stunt hilt because usually those are used for like very heavy dueling because there couldn't be too much LEDs going throughout the blades tube like this one for usually heavy clashing, unless the hilt was built a certain way for that kind of stuff. But anyway, that's getting a little off topic and too detailed about lightsabers. So anyway, it was nice to get this picture taken with them. They just decided, they asked me, "Did you want a picture with us, Anakin?" And I'm like, "Absolutely." So I did one of just a smile right there. And then here is our finale photo of the time. So we've got us again using the Force, looking serious. And see right there, there's my hilt on my belt. And so they knew that I meant business with them in the Force. I really wonder if I really wonder if these two were probably Anakin fans. I mean, just as a random kind of thought of a question. But I'm pretty sure they were. Otherwise, they probably wouldn't have asked me for a picture. Though maybe that's probably their job. Maybe they're supposed to ask either everybody or random people. Um, Okay, Scott says the character on the right is from the Ahsoka season one, the one wearing the white uniform, and the one on the left, I believe, is an Inquisitor from Rebels. Yeah, okay, that kind of makes sense. I can see that there. Um, so that is the final picture of the day. So I'm glad that you guys enjoyed that. I'm gonna stop the share here. All right, guys. So after pretty much getting those photos, we were able to just have a nice lunch that day. Though their food is probably, I would say, not the best, obviously, because, their quality is pretty cheapo. And of course, a little bit, the price was a little outrageous. But I did learn that I've seen a lot of these people, the fans that went there with their badges, they were able to exit the building and re-enter it again as long as they had their badge. They just had to get it scanned like a re-entry ticket. But probably next year when we go again, we're probably gonna head out of the building, just cross the street, and over on the other side of Mosconi's building is a little bit of a shopping mall or like a food court area where a lot of the people that were there just went over for lunch and they said food here is much better and it's probably more affordable and it definitely was cheaper than the building's cafe. So maybe next year when we're there, we'll probably try there for lunch. But anyway, we'll just see what happens as the day goes, I suppose. Um, and then Scott says, don't forget Matt Lanter. He voiced Anakin on Clone Wars, and he had a cameo on Mandalorian. That's okay. That is where Matt was from. So I thought I mentioned in there somewhere that he was, that we met the guy who voiced Anakin, well, and that was Matt. So that was pretty cool how I dressed as Anakin was able to go see the voice of myself in the series. And the same voice of him who did him in the Clone Wars video games series that they did, like Star Wars The Clone Wars Republic Heroes or Star Wars The Clone Wars Lightsaber Duels, which is a one that I had back in the day that I still play with today on the original Nintendo Wii console because that's the only console it's compatible and was made for and is only available for. So I'm glad that I still have a good functioning working Wii to still play the game. Um, but maybe someday they can make it backwards compatible for a Switch system or maybe for Switch 2 systems. But maybe sometime in the future we will know. Um, so anyway, that was a really, really good time. So I think that that just might do it. So the question is how we got there and how we got back home. It was pretty easy. Scott's mom was able to give us a round trip ride, so that was very, very kind of her. I personally thanked her and Scott for the ride. Luckily, we live in just the same area. We're a bit in the peninsula, so we're south of San Francisco. But we were able to just drive in there like 20, 25 minutes away with a little bit of traffic. But anyways, we left pretty early. We were able to get through everything, just when they were able to have the place open a little early at like 9:30 or so instead of 10. That's when we were able to start walking around. So we did that. We met our favorite stars, we talked with them, and then the thing that we did, that was the very last thing before we left the building to head home, was go and visit Robert Patrick again for the second and the last time for the day. We were able to meet him the very first time, and then he told us, please come back again soon. And so that was so that is exactly what we did. And he was very surprised that we came back just as we were about to ready to leave 3 or 4 hours later. So we had a nice, good last talk with him, and you know, it was just a bittersweet goodbye. But hopefully he might come back for Expo Con sometime in the future. Maybe not next year because they rotate actors around for every other or every few years. But anyways, we'll see once we hit the news next year as the year goes by on who will be appearing at Expo Con at the end of around the around after Thanksgiving next year, which is usually when this con comes into town. Um, Scott here says, correcting myself a little here, Mark Shepard was the actor we met from Supernatural. Mark Pellegrino was on Supernatural too, and I confused with the two Marks when I sent you the actors list. Yeah, so Scott pretty much made the list of the actors, and then he sent me the snapshot photo. But anyway, Scott, it's all good. And he says, it was really nice bonding with Robert Patrick. Loved talking to him. Yeah, I think he was probably the best one, um, like in that section of the whole thing. I wouldn't say maybe he was like the very best one ever, of all of them that I had probably seen there. I mean, it's kind of hard to compare him with probably Ashley, probably just because I was able to get the selfies with her and you in it. But they're both of those two, I think, are pretty tied of being my best, of being my most favorite there. So, anyways, guys, I think that pretty much does it for this live. So, after we were done visiting him last time, we were able to just head home. We got home a bit early. We didn't have to stay the entire day all the way to 5 o'clock closing. So, we were able to beat the commute out of the city before it happened. So, thank you, Scott, for coming here, and thank you guys to you who watched earlier. You guys probably had to go. That's very understandable. So don't forget to press that like button down here. And then if you missed this live, don't worry. You won't miss a chat or anything. Well, the chat will be gone, but you can still comment down below when this video is archived. So you can watch this again and then put in your thoughts of who maybe you like seeing at a Comic-Con that you've done in the past. So, thank you guys for coming to this live stream. I know it has been a while since I've done one, but I'm hoping to do maybe one or two more probably before this year closes out. Um, but my season 5 that's currently going on my channel is not over yet. It's still got a ways to go, but we're not closing the season for this year. And we're not opening a season 6 of January 2026. Starting, through this month and into 2026, season 5 will still currently be going on. So, thank you guys for that. I will see you guys on the next one, next video, next live, next short, whatever it is. But I'll keep you guys posted on my posts on my channel of what is coming next. So, thank you guys for coming. You guys have a blessed, great night. And